Welcome to this special conversation. I have with me Ms. Monica Malhotra, Managing Director, MBD Group, Publishing in EdTech, and Ms. Sonica Malhotra, Joint Managing Director, Hospitality and Retail, MBD Group. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, pleasure is all ours.
Pleasure's ours.
My first question to both of you, this is a common question. You have a very diversified portfolio. How do you ensure that the group's core DNA remains intact while driving growth in such diverse sectors? Maybe you can start with you.
Well, this is an interesting question. Now, this group was founded by our founder father, Shri Ashok Kumar Malhotra, father. He laid very strong principles which were very team friendly, and the morals which he had laid down, and we had made sure, both of us, that it should trickle down towards the team. Whenever we start a vertical or when we are servicing a vertical, we make sure the people who are heading those particular verticals, we transfer those morals and values, and we ensure also that those are being transferred to the team down below. The fundamental first step would be to find the person who takes ownership of that vertical and also follows the principles which are laid down by the group. So finding that key person becomes most pivotal to the that vertical. So all these years along, we have been training our people extensively year after year. There's a lot of new DNA which arrives to the group every year. So training is a very strong arm in the entire group, and we train our people so that we are in line with the principles and objectives of the particular vertical, and also we are living by the morals which are laid down, which we want to keep alive, and that's how we keep our founder alive in all our endeavors.
How do you explain this coherence of values and the coherence of DNA across different sectors?
In fact, it's a very important fundamental question which we ask every day of how we institute values and the culture. I think how my father looked at the entire group and his growth, he had 2-3 fundamental pillars on which he actually progressed in his life. One was, which is the biggest, his faith in God. The other was faith in his own abilities, and also bigger faith in the people and the team and the family actually creates, and which is now the MBD family. We don't call it the MBD Group, but probably the MBD family. And last but not the least, in course of all of this, it's very important the kind of actions, the reactions that you have in not only in various strategic decisions, but also in small to medium to probably minuscule decisions which actually exuberate his vision and his culture. For him, his team was the most important. Their happiness was very important. And it was important that as he grew, his team needed to grow. And that's why today we have people who had joined, when we were born, all right, exactly. And they continue with us. And there are a lot of people whose second generation has also joined us. So I think it was about creating a family and not a conglomerate, as I would actually look at it. Whichever decision he took, for him it was important that the growth of the company was important, but yet the growth and the positive culture was important in the company. So whenever he took a decision, these 2-3 parameters were very important in taking a decision to go this way or that way.
That's such a wonderful way of running a company.
Thank you.
Monica ji, since you focus on the publishing side, and MBD is such a brand that we all been part of it in some way or the other.
I'm happy to hear that.
I've been through it. It has undergone a significant digital transformation as well, because the market has changed. People have outgrown the earlier publishing exposure that they have. How do you maintain that academic rigor, that credibility which the group has on the publishing side, while scaling technology-based solutions at the same time?
Well, if you look at our roadmap up till now, if I talk about publishing vertical, we more than now nearly 7 decades we have been into publishing. Whatever newer interventions and technologies were introduced to the education ecosystem, MBD was the pioneer to bring that to the consumers. Whether it was augmented reality, virtual reality, whether it was initially it started with CD-ROMs, and then it started with the ICT classrooms, and then it started with the AR and VR. We were the pioneers to bring that to K-12 segment in India. So to tell you that we were always wanting to be most progressive in that, and whenever any intervention started, we invested in our people, we invested into newer technologies, and hence we were never short of that path of adopting newer technologies. Then there was a sudden shift which was very sharp when it was during the time of Corona, when we were all pushed to use the technology to bridge the gap between the learning gap which was arriving, the teaching gap which was arriving. That was the only which way we could bridge that gap. And thankfully, we had a lot of digital content and resources with us. And at that time, the group rose to give the content and the resources free to the user-based schools, so that we can help any which ways during that time. And we also we saw that shift, that teachers were not now that much scared to make PowerPoints and teach through technology. Children are also getting used to and hang of it, how to avail this kind of education. So we wore our thinking hats that what's going to happen in future once we are out of Corona. Is this going to stay? So then that is the time at that stage we involved the educationists, our teachers, principals, decision makers, trustees, our own authors, in-house authors. We had series of discussions, different roundtable discussions, to arrive to what will be the scenario right post-Corona. So the common voice which came across was that hybrid learning and teaching is going to be the future. And hence, at that time, during the backdrop of Corona, we started our journey with Sonica. It was named after my father, to get his blessing. So, as I always say, we've been saying that, the way Sonica has grown, that it was our founder father who gave us this platform, and he gave now another platform to publishing, where we are taking another flight. And at that point of time, we started our journey, and there was no looking back after that. And now we are the fastest growing solution in edtech in K-12 segment in India. In the 4 years, the kind of trajectory we have shown in terms of the adoption of schools, the kind of the softwares we have developed, which were so customized, we have been I would say in all parts of India, not in just few parts. We, as MBD, has always made products for the last mile students in India. So Sonica is also growing in that direction. So I find that we were ready to adapt, and we'll still be pioneers in most of the technologies K-12 segment is ready for.
Actually, I think Corona was that training ground for this.
Yes.
Has luckily sustained that.
Yes, there was a spring effect we could see. Yes.
Coming to that hospitality question, you partner with leading brands. So some have homegrown concepts as well. So what is the lens that you use while collaborating with other brands? What factors do you take into account while collaborating, say, with Radisson, Shea Hospitality?
I think there are certain fundamentals which everybody looks at. Is basically doing your own SWOT analysis. What are your strengths and weaknesses, and what is the strength and weaknesses that you're looking in from your intended partner, such that when both come together, it's a far better unified kind of growth trajectory that the group can have. And I think from MBD Group perspective, despite the fact that, we are owners of hotels, but the team over the past 20 years has been able to exhibit extremely brilliant performance. I mean, within the Radisson Hotel Group, which is about 200 hotels and over, we are amongst the top 3 hotels in the entire country, and year on year. And we're a franchise hotel, so they don't manage our hotels. And with this concept that the fact that we have great management capability and we also have the capital to infuse growth, the only thing that we were lacking is probably an international platform, which, in technical words, we call it the GDS, so that we're able to actually get more brand visibility on international platforms and be able to get international traffic in. So that was one of our fundamental things. And the other thing also is that we like to be in charge of whatever we are doing, be able to take decisions. And I think with all the partnerships, be it with the Radisson or be it with the Steigenberger, we've been in the position of control. And that's given us...
The driver's seat.
Yes, we've been on the driver's seat. And being on the driver's seat, you're able to take quick, crisp decisions, look at opportunities, act upon them. And yet, going back to your previous question, we're able to inscribe a culture of humility and yet a lot of courage and conviction in what we are doing as we go through all the partnerships. So I think
that's the approach.
Yes, of course.
Right. Your titles are accredited in multiple countries, including South Africa, Sri Lanka. Give me a sense of what are the biggest lessons you have learned about adapting Indian content for international markets. How easy or difficult is it? What are the challenges and opportunities?
Now I'll take you a little bit towards the history of the publishing vertical. India is many countries put together. When and historically, if you see that MBD is making content for all classes, all subjects, all major languages, all major boards in India, whether it's international, whether it's national board like CBSE, ICSE, whether they were state boards, and in their language. So we had that formula whereby we could adapt to the culture of this place, the level of language they require, is localizing the content. And yet we were very careful about the curriculum which was prescribed. So not only having books, we also had digital content which was befitting these state boards and CBSE, ICSE also. So we had that formula in place already. Now when we were targeting different countries, so our major focus was to be very much in line with that curriculum. And also we had cultural interventions of that particular place so that we get the flavor of the particular country. It's very important that if you're making content, and we should not go wrong, there were a lot of peer reviews which we get from the country itself in question, the place itself in question. So, and it is not one-time effort, it has to be constant effort, like year after year you need to keep on revising your content. So you need to keep that alive. And so this is how, in terms of, and if you look at it, India is known for its brains for maths and science, and those are the titles more which are very popular outside our own country. So they're recognized for the science and maths. So one, that was a very good base. And second, we hired a lot of teachers and a lot of teachers who are teaching, hands-on teaching. So they reviewed our content before we release the content to for the government. So that has been our practice, and we do that year after year so that we remain relevant. So be it any place in India, be it any place abroad, this has been our formula, so to adopt and adapt.
And there's a lot of demand for Indian kind of content.
That's right. Especially for maths and science, we are very known for it. And of course, we know knowledge economy is a stated fact.
Right. Let me come back to the the real estate part of it. Of course, the hospitality is the well-known part of this group, but you have retail as well. Now you're building, you're getting big time into real estate. You're outside of India as well. Can you throw some more light on these aspects of retail and international projects that you do?
So I think the group fundamentally is very agile, and we're in a position to be able to enter new verticals and create our own strength and expertise. And if you look at our trajectory from being able to enter hospitality, create a position of being amongst the top management companies apart from owning hotels, to going into retail developments and basically being a number one in any of the markets that we have operated, to going into commercial office spaces and picking up marquee assets, for instance, internationally, now going into residential. I think we have got a very good sweet spot of being able to cater to the premium and the luxury segment, be it any asset class that you're looking for, commercial office space, residential, hotels, and retail developments. So we're pretty much agnostic to developments, but I think we back-end are very particular about, our financial rigmarole that we go into. And then bases the location that we have opted for, the best suitability of the product, and then aligning the best team for it, so that we're able to achieve the number one position, depending upon the gestation time of any asset class, between 2 to 3 years from the launch of the product. And we've been able to exhibit that, be it hotels, be it malls, be it residential or commercial office spaces. And we've done that extremely well. I mean, I think the team at MBD, right, I would say we're probably one of the best that we have in any of the asset classes. The MBD team has actually done a great job.
We've been lucky,
Yes, they've done a great job. Yeah.
You spoke about tech and how tech has evolved even in the edtech sector, and now with AI taking a lot of conversations around AI. How do you ensure that these innovations also remain accessible to rural and low-income schools?
Again, I like to take you back to our roots. When MBD started, that is the time we changed the landscape of how teaching and learning was happening. We bridged that gap where children could not afford the expensive textbooks sometimes, and we also made the content much easier for consumption. So, following that moral, following that tradition, we have always, from that thought process of making the products available to a student in the smallest of town, smallest of village. So we work that our product should be suitable to their pockets also. So we have a lot of software professionals sitting in-house. Our basic aim is to bring all these services and products at very humble pricing. We like to be in the space which is for masses, and we've always been catering to that. So if you look at the products which are so-called competition to us also, they're at much more price levels than ours. So we have always disrupted the market with very humble pricing. We are able to do that because we have everything in-house, whether it is the author of the content, whether it is the animators, the software professionals making our own software solutions, whether it is delivering that to the end customer, installing that with the end customer. We don't outsource any bit of it. Whether it is printing the book, whether it is warehousing the book, or whether it is shipping the book. The entire life cycle of the product is in-house. We are able to control quality and quantity, and hence we are able to reach the customer first in a record period of time. Secondly, we are able to deliver the same services at a much lesser cost, because we're not looking outside for case in point. A lot of people in publishing, or they'll be finding it difficult to sustain a software team where they will get solutions made from outside, and that is depending upon the man hours they are charged, and they charge for each customization. We customize here for each school. If you talk about Ashoka is textbooks, workbooks, teacher resources, teacher lesson plans, testing engine, learning management system, school ERP, everything put together. Everything a school requires from one customer, from one client. So one vendor. So what happens is, for every need that we are having, for every 20 schools or 10 schools, we, depending upon the number of children, we have people on the ground to help them first. And secondly, we make sure that whatever customization they require, whether they don't want all the features of the ERP, they want it simplified, they want it white labeled, they want their fee structure to be shown in a different way, they want their attendance to be shown in a different way, they want different kind of reports. We do that customization not only on the software level but also in printed books. So because we have our own printing solutions, and we are now also investing in print on demand also, we will be able to customize furthermore. In fact, we are customizing for each child, each school. We are the only publishers in the entire India who will be servicing this chain, where when the order clocks in, that is the time we pack the bag of a particular child for a particular school, because every school's demand is different in number of books, kind of books, level of content, and their price points in terms of, so their basket is different. So these kind of operations we are able to handle at a very less cost, because everything we are doing in-house. So to be very sure that we are catering to masses.
So you're ensuring by keeping in-house that the cost remains very mass
yes.
in its outlook. Right?
Yes.
And then, there are also a whole lot of people who still are economically not able to afford something. And I think my father had a very clear vision that he wanted to see an MBD product in each child's hand. And so, under Monica's leadership, like for instance, we've just very recently launched, the mobile van, which is a mobile education robotic van on the wheels.
Right.
Now that robotic lab on the wheels is basically under the Love to Learn initiative of the MBD, that it goes to each small school over there, which probably has no facility at all, but it has that child who has that energy and the spark to learn something new, and they are exposed to robotics. And this is done completely through our AKM Charitable Trust. So apart from, reaching out to those kids who can pay for it, but there's a whole lot of kids that we are actually training, because they have the energy and the want to learn something.
One thing I want to add over it, in fact, two things. One, that we have our solutions offline also. Many parts of India still, not India, I'll talk about abroad also, where internet is an issue. So we make our products offline also. And another thing we make sure that whatever solutions we develop should not take too much of bandwidth. So even if the bandwidth is available to schools, because there's so many students who are using, so it becomes compromised at times. So that's another thing which we look at. AI, which you actually asked in the question, I missed that out, sorry. To tell you that we started investing into AI resources, building up past 1.5 years, 2 years. In fact, we had trained our, we have made one component in AI whereby we are able to bring the same kinds of services and which we offer in our softwares in a much better way. We are going to roll that out very soon, and in fact the teachers right now, we have made like internal chat GPT kind of a thing, because when you go to the chat GPT and you curate a content, you don't know whether it is actually conceptually correct or not. So we have trained this bot on our content. So we have a huge content base. For 70 years we've been making content, and teachers will be able to curate their own content through that. So which will be much more, because curated, much more correct. So our chat bot is now learnt that. So that is now going to come in this session to the market.
That's wonderful. I have a couple of more questions. One is, a legacy brand, sustaining that 70-year-old, legacy is not easy. And then market is changing rapidly, sectors are changing rapidly. How do you build that innovation culture in a very legacy brand? How do you keep that brand agile? How do you approach that agility?
If we talk about publishing, it's very important for us to be in touch with the customer, and most importantly, the teachers, who are actually the pivotal in the whole situation. Whatever we are making, are they very well trained to transfer that to the children, to use that in the classes? So we have a very strong training arm which is for the teachers. In last 4 years, I think more than 1 lakh or whatever teachers we have trained on newer methodologies, and we train under AKM Charitable Trust also, and otherwise also under Ashoka also we are training, and under other various brands which is MBD, Modern, and Holy Faith International, we are training teachers. So on our various books. So what happens is we understand where the market is going, where the pulse is going for a particular region, for a particular school also. Our database is now with time so well defined to understand the consumption pattern for a particular area in a particular city. In Delhi also, if you see the consumption of South, North, East, Central Delhi will be different. Within Central Delhi also, you'll find the schools are of different consumption pattern. So we visit around 70,000 schools every year, and out of that we work around with 35,000 schools. So our database is large. Plus we have been visiting them for, year after year. So we have a lot of conversation sessions with the teachers, sometimes with the parents also. What is their need? What is the ground level need? And that's how that becomes a feeder for us for next year, where we have to take our product. There's a very strong support arm. Normally, if you see the products, why they die down in edtech sector or whatever, is basically they're not able to support later. And we have a very strong support system, and we lay a lot of emphasis, and we have a special call center for that. So the feedbacks come organically also to us. Whether from children also we get it from teachers also, and we make it a point that we do those changes, and we then tell them that is because of you that we have upgraded that product. So that culture we have maintained. So that's how year after year we are able to. And plus, me personally, with the key team members, we visit a lot of other countries. We don't miss out visiting some fairs and stuff to see where the world is going, what we can bring to India, what we can take from India and give to the international market. So I think fairs are a very good feeder, whether they are online fairs or whether they're physical fairs. So I personally like to walk that mile myself, whereby I get myself introduced and I learn more what's there in this, what's happening in the whole world, whether in edtech or whether in publishing.
I want to add something on the innovation side. How do you stay innovative?
We were just talking about the fact that MBD is pretty diversified, but I think being a family-run company, I think it's very important that you need to have a strong base wherein it's not just dependent on Monica and Sonica to service the business and grow the business. I think you need to have very professional teams. Once your base is fundamentally secure in terms of the way the operations are run, the deliveries are, to a certain extent standardized, because if your standing operating procedures are not laid down properly, sometimes the guest will come, will have a great experience, and the next time the guest will come, they'll have a pathetic experience. So your fundamental 70% has to be standardized. But yet we have a culture in the company of being able to and give an opportunity of hearing the voice of each employee, because it's that one particular F&B associate who's serving the guest. I'm not serving the guest, and what he or she can bring on the table, I may not be able to bring on the table. So again, going back to the culture, there has to be a culture of inhibited conversation and having groups of being able to brainstorm newer stuff. And I think that's a torch which both Monica and myself hold very strongly. We appreciate conversation. We appreciate newer ideas. Believe you me, the success rate of new idea could be 2 on 10. But those 2 brilliant ideas can actually take the company further ahead. So I think we love people coming up with newer ideas, be it in smaller, close, conversation groups that we have at the board level, be it going down to, having, talks with the employees and understanding their opinions of where the company needs to go, be it formalized process of getting guest experience feedbacks. And that's why today, because we've been agile in understanding where it is, in terms of the guest feedback for our hotels, we're amongst the top 1 or 2 in the entire Radisson Group, because we want to hear. We don't want to be in that dogmatic state of understanding that we know it all and that's about it. The world is changing very fast. And if we are not understanding the ground reality, we will vanish in no time. So I think talking to your entry-level team members, I think has worked really well for us. And they come up with beautiful ideas.
I think that listening culture is
extremely important.
Yeah, I want to add over here. In fact, we celebrate our Founders Day with a lot of profoundness, and that's and on that day, what we do is that, of course, we award our employees of doing the performance, and there are different parameters depending upon their work profile. But there is a special award which we have, which we all these years we have given, is to the best idea. So that best idea can come from any employee at any level, at any designation. That is external, but internal, they can bring any idea. Okay, if we can improve our services, if we do this, we can improve our content if we do this, we can improve our service level we can do our room service in a particular way, it'll bring wow factor, or any kind of delivery, any kind of facet which can reduce costs, which can bring more value to our products, which can bring more delight to our customers. So we welcome those ideas. Out of that, we pick up 3 best ideas, so that and that's seamless. They can just write to us, and that is the time we explore all those ideas, and we always then have discussion with them. So that's another which way we bridge that gap. So Ashok Karya, which we're talking about, that is again coined after our founder father. So in that's the initiative which whatever we do in terms of bringing or giving back to society, in the minutest way or in a big way, whichever way, depending upon our own capacity, that comes under Ashok Karya. But also individually, each MBD, if they're doing even a small little thing which brings happiness to someone unrelated, happiness or hope or any kind of help which can be extended according to their own capacities. So that is also captured. And why captured is not to be proud of that, it's just to reflect the other people also should get motivated to do something, go out of the way. So that's coined under Ashok Karya. So that's Ashok Karya for us.
My final question to both of you, in the publishing and edtech, from here on, what is lined up from the MBD website?
See, when we as I said, the blended teaching, learning and learning solutions are the way forward. And when we started our journey with this new motive, we started with, I remember we started in 2021 when we did pilot. It was in 10 schools, and next year we thought we'll do about 100 schools, but we did 278 schools. Then we rose to 1,800 schools, and then 3,000 and 4,500. This year we are targeting 5,200 schools. So this is the largest base in the edtech segment in K-12 anybody has catered to. So we are going to put more resources into developing that and taking that to and we are already working with 30,000, 35,000 schools, at least that base, and growing on that base also. If you look at today also, the pie between newer schools and our user schools, it is around 50%. So we are hiring new customers, having new customers also. We are also going to invest in AI very heavily, and also we are also open to invest in startups, and we are also open to incubate, and we are also open to investing in different companies in different maybe regions which are promising. Education is in terms of the way we consume, we understand the pulse of the the need of the child in every developing country, and now like the way I promote my key people to go and visit different countries, they understand the pulse of most countries we want to eye on. So, and India, as I said, is everybody's eyeing on to invest in India. So this will be our home ground always, and this will be our first in terms of focus always. So there's a lot which we can do right now. We have 1.7 million schools, and I'm talking about just few thousands over here. So there's a lot we can do. And plus, in not stopping there, we have also gone into robotics and coding, as she said. We are from the fundamental, foundation classes, we have developed our courseware, which is aligned to the NEP and NCF, whereby we'll be exposing these children to coding right from the foundation level. And we are talking now, these are the citizens who will be expected to be competitive in the world. So it's a must have to understand coding, must have to understand, they need to have the education to make robots. So our courseware goes in such a way that when they reach class 6 or 7, they'll be able to make their own robots. So we have also sold this solution to many schools in India and abroad. And we also have STEAM labs, where that also is our new product, where we are going to go whole hog in the market, and also it is very well accepted in Africa. It's already launched. So again, at a very humble price point we are looking at. So we also understand, as she said, that there is a lot of divide in terms of we need to service the equality also, in terms of that the children get equitable rights who are not probably they don't have those pocket sizes. And under Ashok Karya, we have launched this robotic lab on wheels, and it has got a definitive courseware aligned to the curriculum, again NEP, NCF. We will be giving 24 classes to each needy school, and these vans are going to go to the school, whereby teachers will also go, and we'll also train the teachers over there, and plus give them classes. And by the end of the year, they'll be making their own robot, and there'll be a competition, so that we see that what they have learned. So this goes a long way, because there you are cultivating the hope for them, where they never thought they'll even make a code anytime in their life. And also, in case the schools who have to pay, it is at a very humble price point. It is not something we have successfully taken away that myth that technology is very expensive, we can't avail of it. It's not that. So we wanted to work in that sector where we are suitable to most pockets.
Yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great approach. And coming to this, the verticals of hospitality, real estate, retail, for the next 2 or 3 years, what new things do we see happening?
So I think, as I said, in these past 20 years, we have exhibited ourselves to be a very strong management company as well, with the way we've been able to manage all these assets and asset classes that we are in, exhibited great guest experience, great ROI. We're very prudent in terms of our financial understanding of products as well, and also great sensory to understand what the customer wants. And because of this, I think we have a lot of international brands who basically currently are in conversation with us, because what we understand of the Indian domain, probably an international brand does not. So I think our growth in the real estate and the hospitality and other segments is going to be a combination of owning assets as well as managing. So I see a 20-80 mix, 20% of owning and managing assets, and 80% is a growth that is going to come from the management route, that we'll be managing other people's assets. And I think with that, we're going to see a huge footprint in the next 5 years. I think the Vision 2030 we see that in the major gateway cities, we will be having a hospitality product, and besides which we will own. And apart from that, we will do a very conscientious development in the luxury segment through the management route. And we're also being actually spoken to manage a budget hotel brand across a pan-India base, which we should be announcing very shortly. So I think we will monetize on our management experience. And also what the group has been able to exhibit is that, because of our financial prudence and being able to create a lot of value in whichever real estate product we've been able to get, we do see a lot of funds who are backing us up so that we're able to meet our 2030 targets of a pan-India, far larger pan-India presence across these segments. Yeah.
I also want to add that recent acquisition which we have done, to expand our hospitality footprint, we have done a prestigious acquisition of a land parcel in Udaipur on Lake Pichola. So that is going to be the next one which we will probably talking
this
about.
This one and the Bangalore both.
And yes. Bangalore both, and the next should be Ranthambore soon. So yes. So that is also on the fag end. So should be, that's next which we'll be hearing, and of course the residential and international market. So those are the pieces which have been done.
The Udaipur, because of the kind of location it is, it's going to be a super luxury hotel. It's right on Pichola. The Bangalore will have a combination of asset classes of a luxury hotel, luxury service residences, and commercial office space. It's a huge. It's about a 1.8 million square feet of a development. The Ranthambore is going to be a luxury hotel again. The international market in UK will see a luxury, residences coming through. That's through our ownership route, but that's 20% of the game. The 80% is going to be monetizing on our management expertise, which we've been able to exhibit, and the growth will come majorly from that, which is 80% of it. That's what, is the vision for 2030. Yeah.
Wonderful, and thanks. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure was all ours. Thank you for sparing the time to speak to us.
Knowing that this brand is so strong despite 7 decades,
yes,
almost 8 decades now, and what wonderful.
In fact, I want to add a little bit. With all humility, with the kind of vision and the values that our founder father, our father, Shri Ashok Kumar Malhotra ji, has inscribed in us since we were probably kids. But I think I give a lot of credit to my mother as well. We're 2 girls in the family, but, I see a lot of families where, they create a specific role for a girl child and a specific role for a boy child. And apart from my father, my mother has played a very major role. And we've been able to enter into family business and take the business forward is because she hasn't made any boundaries for us.
Very well
and
said.
I think she is, I would say, a pillar of the entire MBD group. She stands strong, very confident, and very broad-minded and visionary. And so when you said about the culture, she plays a very important role in inscribing the culture in the entire MBD family.
And in fact, one piece I also want to add is, of course, the role of a mother can never be spoken in words. That she's very well said that she's the backbone, and that sums it up all, in fact. And whenever there's a situation, we think, oh my God, what we're going to do. She just says, doesn't matter, it's okay. So that's how both our parents were. They said, you need to do your own failures. And as they were very courageous to, and open to for us to do mistakes also. And of course, and I forgot to add one piece. In fact, you sometimes arrive to that later. that one of the most proud moments when Ashoka was back the first, we was first in the list. Times and Statistica USA, they do a survey around 7 to 8,000 edtech apps all around the world every year, and this year we were the first ones in the Rising Star list, Ashoka, the edtech app. So that was a proud moment. So that's, I wanted to say that, again, that it was Ashok, my father, who laid the foundation. It is Ashoka who's going to take us forward.
And salute your leadership, and which is keeping the brand going steady and stronger by the day.
Thank you.
And thanks for your time and taking out time to speak to us.
Thank you so much for your time. And it was wonderful
Thank you. It's a pleasure
speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely.
Thank you.